Today's video is going to be a different kind of video because today I'm going to be telling you a very interesting story. And this is the story of how I got this car right here, the Tesla Model 3. And what better way to tell a story than with PowerPoint? So let's fire PowerPoint and get started with this story. It was June 6, 2021. It was a bright summer afternoon. I had just come back from church. I was cruising in my ride, rocking my glasses. Wait, actually there were no glasses, but this looked cool, so I'll let them stay. I was rocking my glasses, cruising in my ride, heading home when I discovered that, whoa, I was out of gas. So I decided to stop by a near gas station to get some gas. As soon as my tank was filled up and I stepped out to go close my gas tank, some crazy wacko came out of nowhere, jumped into the car and began to drive off. For a minute they actually thought the guy entered the wrong car, so I stood right there in the middle of the road trying to wave him down to say, hey, you are in the wrong car. But gauging about the way he dashed off with the car, I realized that he was actually still in the car. In a state of confusion and not really knowing what to do, I picked up my phone and for the very first time in my life, I dialed 911. Some lady picked up at the other side, asked me a bunch of questions, asked where I was, checked the address and all of that. And within 2 minutes, just like the way they show us in Hollywood movies, the cops were all over. They caught the guy, they handcuffed him and sent him to jail. Nope. The movies lied because I waited and waited. In fact, my wife, who was very pregnant at that time, came from over a couple of miles away where she was at that time. She got to the scene first and we both, you guessed right, we waited some more. Finally, eventually, after over an hour of waiting, 2 police officers showed up. They asked what happened, I told them the whole story, they took a statement and wrote all the stuff. When one of them said, well, let's have a look at the security cameras. Well, this is good news to me, we can finally crack this case, catch this guy and send him to jail. It turned out the cameras were just for show because apparently they were not working. Well, at this point the police asked me to go back home, sit tight and relax, and they're gonna give me a call whenever there was a break in the case. So at this point I did the next logical thing. I called the insurance company to try to have them pay off the car. So this went well, they were nice about it and they were all good and they tried to help me out until someday one of them called me trying to find out if I was sure that I wasn't owing the bank. Excuse me, wait, what? I know the pandemic has been bad, but I didn't realize that the banks are now in the business of stealing cars. It must have been a minute since I got a loan because I'm wondering what that loan interview process looks like now. Alright, we're all done. All you have to do is sign right here. But before you actually want to make sure you can afford this car. Yeah. That's why I'm here. And make all your payments on time. Sure. I understand. I'm not sure you understand. If you don't, we're going to hire a robber who's going to tail you around town, and once he finds the perfect moment, he's going to grab the car and speed right off with it. Say what? That was a very silly question because obviously this was not the bank. Anyways, let's move on with the story. About 2 weeks later, I started getting a bunch of tickets in the mailbox. See, I live in a place called DMV, which is technically like 3 states close to each other, DC, Maryland, and Virginia. The car got stolen right here in Maryland, but I started getting tickets from Virginia and DC, which started making me wonder what in the world was this guy doing with this car. More on that later. Lucky enough, the tickets from Virginia were quite easy for me to get rid of. I just emailed them and they were nice about it and they let it go. DC, on the other hand, gave me a very tough time. This process involved going to get another police report, uploading it on the portal, sending it physically by mail, calling several people on the phone, and finally having to go to a physical building before eventually, when it seemed like there was nothing else they could do, they let the ticket go. Okay, how I got this car, right? Alright, let's carry on with the story. About 5 weeks later, I got a call from the police. They finally found the car parked somewhere in Maryland. Well, great, finally, we have a break in this case. Yeah, not so great. Once we got into the car, it turned out, remember all those tickets? Yep, those Virginia DC tickets. Oh, this guy had been going on a stealing spree with the car. We had a bunch of stolen credit cards, handbag, IDs, you name it. So at this point, honestly, I didn't want this car back because I didn't know what was going to happen if I was driving this car. The police is going to stop me someday, thinking that I was the bad guy. Lucky enough for me, after further evaluation, the insurance totaled the car because it was just going to cost too much for them to fix it back. And thanks to the used car market being hot at the time, yep, we were still in the pandemic, and remember the global shortage of chips for cars, so cars were just expensive. At this time, the insurance paid me almost the same amount of money I bought this car for some 3 years ago. This was a sweet deal for me, so I took it. Finally, it was time to get a new car, so I went to check out a couple of cars. I'd always loved Teslas. I just thought they were so expensive. I wasn't sure if I was ready, but my wife, smart lady by the way, kept telling me, you love Teslas, you should go check out the Tesla. I don't know, is it really time to get an EV now? This car here also kind of looks good. My wife, boy, you love Teslas, go check out the Teslas. Finally, I went for the test drive and boy did I light up like a kid who just got a Christmas gift because this had to be the coolest car that I'd ever seen and I definitely had to get one of these. So the Tesla was the option. And from the moment I decided to buy the car till the time I actually got it, I never met one person. I just went up to their website, I chose all the options and configurations that I wanted, I sat down, relaxed. When it was ready, I got a phone call, they told me exactly where to pick it. I went there, from my phone I was able to accept it and I head right into the car and I was picking my car and heading out. Oh, yep, that's me by the way, on the day I picked up the car. And that is the story of how I ended up buying a Tesla. And there's so much to love about this car. First of all, I love how it looks with the white interior and the minimalistic look. It's really, really beautiful, nice and sleek. And if there's any car that's hard to steal, this is probably one of the hardest cars to steal because first of all, you need a PIN code to drive it. And whenever I'm out of the car uses all the cameras around it. So there's several cameras around the cars. It converts those to security cameras. So if somebody comes close to the car and it detects movement, it starts recording and save the footage. That way I'm able to come back and view it. I can actually even see the cameras from my phone. Check this out. Hey there, how can I help you?
Hey there, how can I help you?
My friends and I worked on a video where we tried to steal a Tesla. That video should be coming out this weekend, so make sure you're subscribed to this channel to watch that. This car is filled with so much tech that I can't cover all of it all in this video, but with its camera around, it can see everything around it and it shows me this cool 3D visualization of what's going on. In fact, it can even drive itself if I ask it to. I can watch my Netflix, Hulu, and bunch of entertainment, play video games even using my steering wheels. And when I'm out and about with the wife and I want to get a little romantic, I could go right here to the toy box, click on romance, click on get cozy. That changes this to a fireplace, actually starts blowing hot air from this, and wait for it, the music changes. And best of all, I never have to go to a gas station anymore because right from my house right here, I can charge my car. Alright, so that's the story of how I got this car right here, the Tesla Model 3. What started out to be a very messy situation actually turned out to work for my good. If you want to keep up with the adventures that I'm going to be having with this car, I welcome you to subscribe to my second channel. It's going to be the very first link down in the description. And if you want to see the touchless delivery process, that video is going to be showing up right here. And depending on when you're watching this, how to steal a Tesla might pop up here. If not, another awesome video from me is going to show up right there. Thank you for stopping by. I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.